start with Abhinandan Mathur, the spokesperson of the AAP. This is what Anna Hazare has written in his letter to your party chief, Mr. Kejriwal, that he is drunk on power. Kejriwal has forgotten his own ideals after joining politics. He has quoted from Mr. Kejriwal's book, Swaraj, to remind him of his earlier stand towards liquor, that he was anti-liquor, he was pro-prohibition. This is what a one-time mentor of the Chief Minister of Delhi has written to him. Isn't it embarrassing at the very least, if not, duplicitous of the Delhi Chief Minister to have changed his stand on the liquor policy?
Thanks, and good evening to all your viewers as well. Nobody is surprised by the day-to-day sort of strategizing of the BJP to somehow pull down or attack or force some allegations on the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Kejriwal. Because the truth is that they're actually not able to find anything, neither in the liquor policy nor in the education policy, in nothing actually. And we are very grateful to the BJP for actually, coming up with a new allegation every day, because that essentially exposes them very badly.
No, but Abhinandan, this is not the BJP. This is Anna Hazare who's saying this.
I understand. And I think that firstly, I must also clarify that we hold Mr. Anna Hazare in very high regard. We respect him immensely. He's guided this movement that led many of us to, join the movement and therefore the formation of the party. So with due respect to him, it's very unfortunate to see that at the moment, he's just being misinformed and used by the BJP. And there is enough evidence for that, because obviously perhaps the BJP people who have, spoken with him have not actually briefed him about the policy.
What is the evidence that BJP has forced him to do this? And also, doesn't that discount Mr. Hazare of any agency or individual thought that he can come up with whatever his opinion is, as is evident in this letter?
Well, we do respect his opinion, like I said, but, we are the capital. We stand by this policy. We also think that this is a progressive policy if it was implemented properly, and, the LG did not change his stand and the LG himself was not changed. So we really actually stand by the policy, and I think all your viewers will understand.
I have Shehzad Poonawala of the BJP here in the studios. This is what Mr. Kejriwal has said very briefly when he was speaking along with Mr. Sisodia, that whenever his rivals say something, people do not listen to them. They bring someone forth. During the Punjab elections, they said Kejriwal is a terrorist. People started laughing at them. Therefore, they brought Kumar Vishwas forward. Now they are firing off Anna Hazare's shoulder. This is what Mr. Kejriwal has said.
First of all, Zaka, obviously they don't care for their old mentor because they have a new mentor called Lalu Prasad Yadav. Secondly, she said that nobody has found anything against them. Here's the High Court finding against Satyendra Jain that he has a criminal background. There's also a trial court finding that there should be a case done against him because prima facie is guilty of Awalabazi, and a 2019 High Court order. Thirdly, Anna Hazare, forget now you're insulting him, you're putting allegations that he's a BJP agent, although they've not given proof of that so-called audio, 800 crore audio. Now no proof of this also. But tell me, he has written about Swaraj. Swaraj book says that 90% women will be asked before opening a theka. अरे पाठशाला मांगा था, मधुशाला खोला, और वो पाठशाला में भी क्लासरूम को पाठशाला टॉयलेट को पाठशाला बता दिया, and the fans are following from that. But tell me,
in all these searches, once again, in all these searches that the CBI has done over the last many days, tell me specifically what is the charge of corruption against Sisodia or other public officials' names?
Yes, so the specific charge of corruption, first of all, this case was put forward by the LG to the CBI 1 month ago. So even a pocket mar, when he steals something, does not keep it under his bed. So surely Mr. Manish Sisodia is a more elaborate scamster.
No, you've done multiple raids. What have you found?
So the main points are that 2.5% commission of the L1 was increased to 12% without the proper rules being followed. Now, madam, I'm telling you what is the...
Once again, Abhinandan, I'll come back to you. I'll give you a chance to respond. Okay, 2% to 12%.
Yeah,
okay.
2.5% to 12%. Secondly, the operational period of the licenses was increased without the proper rules being followed. The cabinet had said no for Mr. Manish Sisodia to take any decisions, yet he took these decisions. Fourthly, there was a show cause notice. No manufacturing and retail companies, manufacturing and blacklisted companies could come into retail. In fact, there was a show cause notice against Indo Spirits, but they did not take any action on this company. Fifthly, they allowed the number of thekas to be increased from 2 to more than 2 without the due permission. Apart from that, they allowed a 30 crore EMD.
Out 5 things. I'm asking you again, and I'll go back to Abhinandan to respond to you. Where is the corruption?
The corruption is that there were people like Vijay Nair. I don't need to elaborate who that is for the Aam Aadmi Party. There were people like Anand Pandey. He belongs to one news channel also. And look at the links of that news channel with the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. And then there is another person called Dinesh Arora, at whose place Mr. Manish Sisodia used to often visit in the night. These people were the money collectors, the cash collectors. The FIR also specifies
On
how
behalf
cash
of
Mr. Manish Sisodia.
Okay.
Meetings used to be held in an Oberoi room. Deals used to be tailor-made for this excise policy. I'll give you one specific instance. The L1 of Delhi and the L1 of Punjab is the same guy called Amandeep Dal. Is it a coincidence? And that person is a friend of the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson.
Abhinandita, respond. I've been asking the BJP, including Shehzad today, what is the corruption? Where is the corruption? He's just rattled out 5 instances of corruption in the liquor policy.
Right. For the last 2 months, the BJP is making sure that the country's time and prime time is wasted on a bogus case and a bogus allegation. The CBI is doing its job. The FIR that they have filed actually does not, take into account anything that Mr. Poonawalla is stating. Also, Mr. Poonawalla is the last person that we need to learn loyalty from. I mean, we also don't know who he will be speaking for.
What is
you
this
were
got
with
to
the
do
Congress in
loyalty?
2013. You talking about my loyalty. You were with the Congress in 2013.
One second. This is not a debate about loyalty. It's a debate about corruption.
But because
it's a debate about corruption. Please respond to the charges he made.
You were not loyal to Anna Hazare. You are loyal to Lalu.
One second. Abhinandita, this is not a debate about loyalty. It's a debate about corruption. Please respond on point, please.
Got it. Got it. Only because he had pointed out, I thought I should respond to that as well. You must understand that the CBI has made charges. The CBI is doing its work. Of course, every spokesperson of the BJP today, because the CBI has not found anything and has not even, charged Mr. Sisodia of corruption in the FIR. So obviously,
that's a lie.
BJP
He's accused number 1. She has blatantly lied. She blatantly lied. He's accused number 1. How is the Aam Aadmi Party getting away with this?
Okay, one second.
She needs to be factual.
Mr. Poonawalla, only because I must say
Are you saying Manish Sisodia is not named in the FIR?
No, being named in the FIR does
She
not
said
make it.
he was not in the FIR.
No. She said he's not charged with corruption.
There's no charges in FIR right now.
You're accused number 1 in an FIR does not mean you're guilty of corruption. But that's not the point. Anandita,
she
please.
Meant that there was no name of Manish Sisodia.
1 second. No, that's not what she said.
I did not mean that.
No,
I did not mean
Abhinandita,
that at
I'm
all.
asking you a specific question. Shehzad said there were private players who were blacklisted who were given L1 licenses. There is the same guy who has L1 in Delhi as well as in Punjab. The main guy, Mr. Arora, who's also been named in the FIR, there are pictures of him with Mr. Sisodia in his residence. What's the relationship? You're not clarifying on any of these points.
Well, that is for the CBI to find out. And like I'm saying, we stand by the policy. We've done nothing wrong. And, we do believe that this is a progressive policy that actually brings the state to some accountability.
Okay.
Unlike, for example, the state of Gujarat, where there's a liquor ban and 100 people
this is not about the liquor policy or the lack of it in Gujarat. It's about the liquor policy of